Hello, this is Mark Reinhardt of God Consent, the Libertarian in the group, in part 2 of the thoughts on the Christmas terror plot over Detroit. Why do we even need a Homeland Security? When I think Homeland Security, I hear alarming parallels to Nazi Germany. I'm not saying we're exactly not like the Nazis, I'm just saying the idea that we need a secret police force is scary enough as it is. And the one thing I wanted to address most importantly is the threat DHS actually poses to American citizens. The MIAC report, for example. And it's not just right-wing groups, it's left-wing groups as well. Environmental activists were targeted on the terror watch list, along with right-wing groups at the same time. We are the enemy to our government. At least that's what some officials think. I'm not saying all of them are like that mindset, but it is a concern that we have fewer and fewer people representing us in Congress, or at least trying to represent us to where they see where we're heading. An example of people defending us in their own ways is Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho. That's a defender to a certain degree. There is Ron Paul. Even though these people shouldn't really be deified, there is an understanding that at least some are trying to do their jobs in Congress. Next, I wanted to address the issue of the programming to accept dictatorship police state activities. What I mentioned is a term that was coined originally by Michael Savage. Regardless of what you think about Michael Savage, it is true, this term and its implications. Now, this is where I go into my journalism ethics expertise. We are ran by a government media complex, similar to itself to the military-industrial complex. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot of debate on who's fairer, which is MSNBC or Fox or even CNN. The truth is, at least from my point of view, that all three of them are propaganda channels owned and ran by the government. Corporations generally kowtow to government favors. News Corp being a big example of that. GE, which is a military contractor, the largest one in the United States. And last but not least, Time Warner, AOL Time Warner. We are ran lock, stock, and barrel by corporations. Most of them should have failed. Now, when you understand who owns who, you understand the agendas, so to speak. There are very few people out there that would be non-agenda driven. We are being programmed by the government media complex to accept giving away our civil liberties for a false sense of security, as I mentioned before in the previous video. What are we doing as a people? Are we that scared to death of everything that we are willing to give up our civil liberties? Is the social psychology being manipulated into Pavlovian dog's behavior? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be asked. That's all for this video. This is Mark Reinhardt for God Consent.